Welcome to Money Adventures with TK, a podcast for the ordinary young African who is determined to get their personal finances right. Willing to have a better relationship with your money? Well, this podcast is for you.
Welcome to Money Adventures with TK.
The first episode.
Guys, I don't know about you guys, but this is
the first episode.
And again, my guest in studio. Yo! Wowza, I've been trying to have a meet and greet. Well, not a meet and greet because I know him, but I've been trying to have a catch-up session rather with this guy over gin because he loves his gin. He loves his gin. In fact, he infuses his gin with a couple of stuff. So, my name is TK for those of you who do not know me, and this is the Money Adventures where we literally have conversations that the ordinary person can relate to, specifically around our personal finances. And he had just come from a workshop where he was doing a personal finance talk. So I'm going to allow him again to introduce himself to the listeners, and we'll take the conversation from there. Hello, sir, and welcome to Money Adventures.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for having me. Long overdue.
Very long overdue.
But I've also enjoyed the mini catch-ups we've done in between spaces. We meet in the corridor of a bar or a restaurant.
I think we're always meeting at a bar. Or anything that involves alcohol.
And whatever conversation we have, given the little time we have, has been very interesting and very inspiring. And one of the things that came up often was the issue of creating content, which you're doing such a great job. I mean, I've always sang this song of people, let's create content, but there's one guy who's doing it, and that's TK. So
I believe
well
I'm an executor here.
Yes, you are. And you've been very consistent, which is very inspiring for people like us who had decided to forget.
But you're also a content creator in your own right.
And that part of me sort of died, and I'm trying to resurrect it because content is everything.
But who is Teboho? You haven't really said who you are.
Who are
you? Tell us who you are.
Teboho, if you ask me, I have to get lost into the real me. A regular guy with big dreams and ambition. If you ask me, to be honest, I would say a godforsaken village somewhere in the most fertile side of the south of this country, but the levels of poverty from that place are still shocking. And I understand why my father ran away. And I'm forever grateful for him making that decision, because it has helped shape the person I am. I'm also a very passionate person about growth. I'm passionate about leadership. I'm passionate about influencing people to see the bigger side of themselves and embracing it and actually living it out while they live.
While they live.
I am also very passionate about solving problems. All my career life, I have been attracted to problems, and I have embraced the challenge. If you call me and there's problems, I will probably help you, but in the shortest time possible.
But what's the impact of that on your mental health?
It's probably the most important thing, the most rejuvenating thing to do. Seeing someone transform from one state to another, especially a better one, that metamorphosis to watch, and it's for me, it's probably the major reason why we're alive, to charge and impart in each other things that could help the other person transform and become better. Meaning that the wisdom you need as a person, you will not find it in one person, not yourself, not the next person, but probably a very long queue of other persons. And for me, if I could contribute 10% or 2%, that results in 100% incremental on productivity, on your growth, on your effectiveness as a human being, I have lived my part as a person.
My goodness. What would you say is your money adventure? What's your story about money?
I have adventures that come from my professional side, where I interacted with individuals. I have been a corporate entrepreneur in the literal sense. A corporate entrepreneur is a professional leader contributing at a high level and solving problems for corporate. I decided that the problem is too big if you look at it from a corporate level. So let me go micro so that I can understand the macro. And what was exciting for me is I started things like retirement workshops, counseling sessions, and doing personal finance interventions for corporates. That allows me to sit down with a human, not a group of people that could sing a chorus just for the sake of that unity, and ignore the fact that as an isolated case, they have a certain problem that requires them to sing a different tune, But once you sit with a human and you interact and ask questions and probe, you find problems that are interesting, that you would not find in a normal column of a thought leadership article. Now, what that did, I was forced into placing myself at the feet of these people, and I'll share with you shortly what my experience was. And then I looked at my parents' struggles with money. My father died just after he retired, and my mother inherited his retirement package, and my mother has never had the longest time she had a job where she was paid a salary was probably 2 years. From there, she used to do side jobs. She was into curtains and bedding. That's what she did. 1 month she's not paid by all her debtors. 1 month she gets good money. She goes to Masuru-san to gamble and yabushapa nene, then and the disposable income sort of blows up, and then I've seen people around as family friends who some retired, some died, and a lump sum from a GLA or a death benefit pays out, and you watch people relate with money differently. Not even relate with money differently, but the revelation of the true self comes out because there's money. Money has a way of putting people in their corners. The moment there's money,
people change.
They change. Well, we see the real deal. So one of the things that challenged or fashioned or shaped my perspective to money is the problems I saw in my customers, the problems I saw with my mother and the people around us. My customers, I've seen someone who retired at the age of 60 or 65 with 100,000. He's earned good money for whatever reason from the formal job or other streams. And they go home to retire and to earn, say, 500 per month. Ooh. He was already on a, say, 5,000 per month salary. And even with that salary, he had a list of official machonisas and unofficial machonisas who have different obligations over their lives. And I've seen what that does to the person, because HR will say, hey, you need to come and do an intervention. We have a problem. That means productivity goes down.
And more often than not, that's already, I'll say, already too late.
It's very late, and then at the same time, this person has a kid who is still in high school or primary, but he has to retire to get 500 per month from a pension after working for 30 and 35 continuously. Yeah. So placing myself in his feet to say, would I want to go there? I don't want to go there. So I have to do something to help me, empower me to be in a strategic position to refuse to go there. And then I saw my mother on the other side. This one was too close. My father retired, decided I don't want to go home because my kids are still very young. I'm paying an extra 1 year contract. Yes, they said yes. Within the second year, so it means that his retirement benefits, which were sort of deferred, passed to my mother, who has never really had a decent salary all her life. All of a sudden, she found
balling.
She is balling, and I saw two things. One, everything that she felt deprived during her time, she made sure she got it. She used to buy Sishosha probably twice a month.
Yeah.
Just, and I would say, but you already have.
She needs to look good though.
She's like,
she needs to look good though.
And she was very honest.
Yeah.
He said it's too expensive. That was it. She used to buy blankets like your Aranda, all of them. We still have them. If I want a new blanket, I just go and there's a chest that's full of those things. So there were things that she felt deprived, and she now demands fulfillment of those pleasures. At the expense of her health. During the same time, we found that she had high blood and diabetes. We were supposed to spend money on her well-being, but that was not her priority. Her priority were the things that she didn't do. Yes, when she was still young and fresh. So my take from this is, do not live for one side of the horizon. Live for now and live for the future.
Talking about living for the future and living for the here and now, you have recently decided to take a break.
Yes, sir.
From your career.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to find out, what's the planning? Was there planning around it financially? Was there, what's that looking like for you?
Maybe I would like to start with why I made that decision. I am passionate about growth. If I feel prospects for growing are endangered, I stop functioning. I move from that place to find growth elsewhere. That's number one. Number two, I want to be very deliberate about my contribution in corporate. I have worked from the very grassroots to get to where I am, and my principle is you go into a space for influence, for impact, measurable impact. If you get it, get out. Before complacency comes in, before entitlement comes in, get out and go to another place while you're still fresh. And I felt I did that for Mammoth. From the start, when I spoke to the shareholders, they said, we want you to take this organization maybe for another 5-10 years. I said, no, I can't do 5, I can only do 2. They said, no, we'll throw in even the Sharenyana. I was like, yeah, okay, now we're talking. But it was still against me as a person. A year later, I realized that I'm going to be out of here in another year. Started talking to my wife, help her understand where I'm coming from. She would ask questions, and one afternoon I would get a text, are you sure you want to do this?
My goodness.
And maybe get out like a spell, not sure, for about a month or 2, and then as I continue ticking the boxes that were necessary for me to tick as I was doing the job, I realized that I will be doing myself a lot of injustice if I didn't quit. 6 months ago, I spoke to the chairperson. I said, this is me. This is what I believe in. This is what I feel I've been able to achieve with your help and the board and the team that I work with. And I think our roads need to part now. I'm grateful for... He said, are you saying you're resigning immediately? I'm saying, let's prepare for it. It's going to happen. I will not even wait until I clear my debts. I will not wait for the most comfortable space to do it. I'm just going to do it because I believe it's the time to do it. What happens thereafter? I believe I have exerted myself, exercised myself as a resource for the industry that I've worked with, and I believe that kind of experience is easy to monetize. I'm not saying it's going to be handed to me on a silver platter somewhere, but if I exert myself to the opportunities and with the experience I have, something will come up. I don't know what, but something will come up.
And I love the optimism, and you know what I love about podcasts is we need to go into video podcasts as well.
Yes.
But the facial expressions, I
You
can
miss
actually
that.
see you lighting up. You do miss that because I could see you lighting up as you were talking, and it just goes to show just how prepared and excited you are about the next future.
Very
the
much.
next step of your career.
Very much.
So what does that look like? We are in December 2020, been a difficult year.
So
we are 3 weeks before 2021.
Almost.
Yeah.
Among the many things that I am looking at, I don't want stereotypes. For instance, someone who has just read Rich Dad Poor Dad or the cash flow quadrant will tell you, I want to be a business owner, I want to be an investor, without acknowledging the whole journey and the whole quadrant, where opportunities lie. So I don't want those stereotypes. my monetization of the experience that I've referred to could come from any space. It could come from owning a business or self-employment. It could come via a job, an offer,
consulting.
I've actually started a bit of consulting work with especially small organizations that are owned by Basotho, because my experience with Mammoth, I feel like I've learned most of the mistakes that people make, and I've solved those problems, and I feel that if we engage, we can save a lot of businesses and pass real wealth to the next generation.
Very wow. I mean, and I love I'll say your target market, because earlier on we're having a conversation to say that many a time we think that small businesses actually need funding, but in actual fact they need so much more than just funding. The funding is like a small part of the business.
Very small.
The governance, the policies, the business processes, the structure of all of that. So I love
most
the fact
definitely
that you do that.
Most
so
definitely.
I want to ask you in the last 3 minutes left is, you used to be, everybody who knows you, besides you being a musician, a great one at that. One, your music career, and then two, what happened to Stasia, the retirement preacher or coach?
Oh, yes.
Is that coming back? Is it?
It is definitely coming back, and I'll start with that because the session I just came from now was a personal finance session with a bit of retirement planning and budgeting stuff, and I just realized how much I missed that. I started about a month ago when you saw something online, and I definitely love that because I've seen what good planning leads to. I've seen what good education, financial education, does to people. I have people that still call me that I interacted with more than 6 years ago who are saying, I've retired at 50 and I'm living the best life. And so I definitely want to go back there. The music side, COVID happened, but I'll tell you the very, very honest truth. COVID has become an excuse. I realized that COVID actually gave us an opportunity to write, to compose, to produce new music, but most of us were busy getting nervous or now COVID.
Oh, looking around for expensive alcohol.
Or looking around for expensive alcohol.
Exactly.
So I also fell into that trap, but I'm coming out. In fact, before COVID happened, we had just started our third project, released a single called Ngakadumela, and we're going back to, there's actually a collaboration we're working on for the very first time, a hip-hop or Sotho hop collaboration, and it's going to be epic. So I cannot outgrow music. I will not one day wake up and not become I actually have a guitar outside. I can
I think I don't know how we're gonna do that. I'm trying this vlogging lifestyle, and now with Christmas they call it Vlogmas.
Oh yeah.
So it's basically showing people what you do on the day to day in your life, especially around the Christmas season. So maybe you should come.
We can actually go to my space because for me it's two things: music and cooking. I like entertaining, I like hosting, and
which I'm never invited to, by the way.
You are coming on Monday. We're partying from 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. the following day.
Trust me, I will be there. All I need is working from home, so I'll have my laptop, which is ready. But for me, laptop ready and vibe absolutely.
Definitely.
I'm always there. So we have like 1 minute left.
Okay.
Which is, what's your closing remarks?
I would like to say to your listeners, 2020 has been whatever you want to call it, but after a couple of minutes or hours discussing problems, anything after that is now excuses. So let's all snap out of it, roll up our sleeves and go work. Money does not grow on trees. Everybody needs to go and end their part. I'm preaching to myself because my sabbatical was supposed to last 3 months, so I'm on the 3rd month very soon. So
yeah.
I also have to snap out of it. I've had my rest, and I wish everyone to rest and come back into 2021 empowered and energized.
So I love the money adventure that you took. 3 months sabbatical leave, just giving me a whole lot of new ideas about that. But I always say to our listeners, money is an adventure. It's what you do with it. Money is a piece of paper, but what you do, your behavior, your decisions really travel that.
Impact.
And I always say, take care of your money, love your money, respect your money,
Yes, sir.
but also have fun with money because
Oh, yes.
money is fun.
Oh yes, it is.
So I always say on my YouTube channel, I always say I'm trying to remember it. For some reason, I'm forgetting it today. It's like
Okay.
love, peace, and money. So enjoy your money, guys.
Episode 1.
Done and dusted. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
You've been listening to Money Adventures with TK. We want to hear from you. Don't be shy to like, comment, and share. Money's an adventure. Let's enjoy the ride.